Nestled in the foothills of the Allegheny Mountains, Williamsport, Pennsylvania, a town of roughly 30,000, sits triangulated between Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. Today, Williamsport is known as a baseball town, but not just any baseball, Little League baseball. It is the birthplace of Little League, an annual host of the Little League World Series. The Little League, and more specifically, the Little League World Series, is a big deal all over the globe. The first edition of the Little League World Series was played in 1947, and by 1952, it truly was a World Series when the first international team, a Little League team from Montreal, joined the tournament. And then in 1957, a team from Monterrey, Mexico, was the first international team to claim the title of Little League World Series champion. Since 1959, the Howard J. Lamad Stadium, situated in South Williamsport, has hosted the Summer Classic. 28 different countries have sent teams to compete in the Little League World Series. In the history of its 73-year competition, international teams have won 37 championships, while 36 teams across the country in the United States have been crowned champion of the Little League World Series. Countries that have won the Little League World Series are U.S.A, South Korea, Mexico, Venezuela, Japan, Chinese Taipei, and of course the United States. More than 50 of the participants have gone to play baseball at its highest level, the major leagues.
Wilson Alvarez of the White Sox in.
But Williamsport wasn't always the place of big league dreams. First colonized in 1786 and established as a city in 1886, Williamsport has gone through centuries of change. Over 100 years before Williamsport first hosted the Little League World Series, the city was known as the lumber capital of the world. Following the opening of Williamsport's West Branch Canal in 1834, the city was linked to the rest of Pennsylvania tributaries as the Susquehanna River became a means of transport for the large and heavy lumber. As the spring melted the snow, the Susquehanna River turned into a busy highway, making Williamsport a bustling town. During the Civil War, the nation needed more lumber than ever. During this prosperous period, Williamsport boasted more millionaires per capita than any other city in the United States. Just about a century and a half time removed from these prosperous times, Williamsport residents and visitors alike are still reminded of the thriving lumber era through a historic stretch of Victorian mansions and landmark churches built by the lumber barons. The name of this stretch is Millionaires Row. Following the stock market crash of 1929, the Great Depression left the citizens of Williamsport hungry and without work. This prompted then-President Franklin Roosevelt to help young, able-bodied men put food on their families' table through programs such as the Civilian Conservation Corps. Lycoming County and Williamsport were very active amongst the CCC as the years of logging rendered Williamsport and its surrounding valley stripped of all forestation. Once again, Williamsport was at the forefront of a nationwide movement, as almost 200,000 Pennsylvanians served in the Civilian Conservation Corps, with 6 of their camps located in Lycoming County. 9 years later, the U.S. government once again had its hands on the region, this time on neighboring Union County. In the town of Alvera, only 14 miles south of Williamsport, a major wartime effort led to 149 igloo-style bunkers to be used for stable storage of explosives. Very soon it was realized that the need for TNT was greatly overestimated, and the bunkers were rendered useless. Just a short drive from Williamsport, in the foothills of the Allegheny Mountains, you can explore these bunkers today, symbolizing the wartime efforts. But even before World War II, Williamsport had begun a transformation without even realizing it. Carl Stotts, a local oil executive, came up with an idea to keep young boys in the area active. Baseball, of course, was widely popular amongst adults at the time. Carl did not have any boys of his own, but he knew that his nephews enjoyed playing baseball. So Stotts reasoned that all children would love playing it, while learning the value of teamwork, fair play, and sportsmanship. So in 1939, he came up with the idea to start an organized baseball league in his hometown. Carl's efforts led to the community of Williamsport being the birthplace of Little League. Stott's novel idea grew to surrounding neighborhoods, and before long, blew up across the country. Even today, Little League thrives, and the values defined by Little League baseball are inherently visible in the Little League Pledge. But this past year has been a tough one for everyone, but especially for Little League and Williamsport. In 2020, the Little League World Series was postponed for the first time in its 73-year history. From a financial perspective, that was a big hit to Lycoming County and Williamsport. The local economy will still lose an estimated $40 million with the cancellation of the 2020 Little League World Series. Tourism, hospitality, retail, and other industries have been highly affected by the cancellation of this tournament. Outside of these major industries dependent on millions of dollars worth of businesses each August, there are several nonprofit activities surrounding the Little League World Series that will be unable to operate. Jason Fink, the CEO of Williamsport Lycoming Chamber of Commerce, said, and I quote, "It's one of those things that is a loss you don't recoup. Those small restaurants that would otherwise be busy, those 2 weeks won't see that revenue come in." He then said, "There are going to be better days, but there will continue to be pain. I think we all need to be as positive as possible." Jason Fink is right. There will be better days ahead. And one thing is for certain, the town of Williamsport is relentless, from its early days of colonization to the prosperous times of the logging industry. Just as the Civilian Conservation Corps was able to replant and reinvigorate the forest of Lycoming County, the Little League World Series will be back. And at the center of this one-week international tournament will be the city of Williamsport, a city nestled in the foothills of the Allegheny Mountain, a true American town, and the home of Little League Baseball.